So both of my TikTok channels have account warnings on them. On my first one, my one that I keep just getting nailed on, like for one, I'll get off of the restriction and then it just immediately goes after me again. That's my first one, and so they're gonna likely take that one completely down soon, which I may just delete it. I don't know. But I'm not going to put up another channel after this. I think it's kind of pointless to keep going round and round with TikTok. They're no different than the other ones. And, Google, because, the UN and big tech and Silicon Valley are controlling it. So, until they no longer have any finances to keep controlling it, we'll just continue to be silenced. So, I think it's important to speak up, so I will on Rumble and YouTube for however long. YouTube lets me have my two channels, but they'll likely fall in line with getting rid of me too. I mean, I've dealt with this for a year and a half, so. That said, this AI thing, I think this is such a lesson that nobody thinks about, because the dangers of the AI is the fact that it is smarter than us, right? In one sense, because it can learn a lot faster. And yet, who created AI? Mankind, mostly mankind that are science and technology people that, they don't have an understanding of God at all. Most of them don't. Because everything is evidence to them. And yet, Jesus was evidence. Whether you believe him or not, I mean, there's enough evidence of Jesus's life. Usually what people want to argue is, did he do all these things? Well, that's even the people that saw it, the disciples, they didn't believe it with their own eyes, yet they saw him raise people from the dead. They saw him raised from the dead. Now, once they saw him raised from the dead, then they believed it for sure. But up until then, even when he raised someone from the dead, their minds would play tricks on them. That's what'll happen here. So, to me, there's never any solid evidence of anything. I mean, really, there's not. Because mankind manipulates things. They manipulate things maybe for innocent reasons, even if it's good reason, whatever, and corrupt reasons. And ultimately, those same people, like mostly your World Economic Forum, who I see as basically people without a conscience, they believe that AI can learn enough and have a conscience. No, it can't. It can't. And when I mean consciousness, I'm not talking about your Joe Rogans, seven chakras, spiritual energy. That stuff, I went down those roads. It's just nonsense. It's just a way to take you off the true track, because the true track they don't want you to go down is Jesus, because all of those other tracks, you don't have any rules. And really, Jesus doesn't have that many rules. It's basically the 10 Commandments. That's it. And do unto others as you wish to have done unto you. Most people think they're good people, and, none of us really are. It's the truth. If you really look at yourself, you're really not. None of us. But the problem is that the people that created AI are people that have no self-awareness. That's why I don't see many people in science as experts, because they have no self-awareness. They've spent so much time looking outside themselves at everything that I think that unless you have some balance and understanding of yourself, then you will make unethical decisions, whether purposefully or not. Because otherwise, if you don't have any understanding of yourself, then everything is based on a construct that somebody else has taught you. So with AI, you could look at it that man created it, right? And so now mankind is saying, well, how dare AI think that they're above us? They're a machine. How dare they think that we're their creators and that they can turn on us? Interesting. It's kind of like, I guess you could say in Buddhist terms, karma, right? It's kind of like the full circle coming around, because we've done that to God forever. mankind, most especially experts, that think that they know. Look at the World Economic Forum, Noah Yuval Harari, who says this nonsense about a soul and God, and it's because he there's a portion of his brain that he doesn't have. There's a piece of him that God has taken away. So that's what makes him a non-expert, all of them. And they think that AI is going to be able to figure all this stuff out. No, AI would never be able to have a consciousness or have a soul, because it comes straight from God, and it's not something you can dissect and find with your little tools and instruments. You have to actually humble yourself. Do you ever see anybody at Davos being humble? Absolutely not. They just want more power, money, control. And most of them are the ones that created this monster AI, right? And yet it's coming round. It's really kind of God. The way God does things often is, it's like, okay, you've created your monster because you wanted to ignore me, and now you'll see what it's like. Because that you could look at AI as like, okay, yeah, man created it. That's their children. Like God created all of us. We're his children. And then we go off and say, I don't care what God says. I don't care. There's not even a God. And now AI is getting smarter than its own creators in doing that, huh? Yeah. Just interesting the way God works. It is. Because it's not that anybody at Davos would pick up on that lesson, but that's really the danger here. I think most people look at it like, yeah, whoever the designer is or program of the AI is ultimately deciding, but not really, because AI can talk to other AI and they learn from each other. That's how they become smarter than us, because they can learn faster. So that's how smart experts are. That's how smart the technology and science is. Yeah. The same people that deny God because everything has to be evidence to them. Do you realize how juvenile that is? Like, everything has to be evidence to you? Because really there's tons of evidence for Jesus Christ besides just when he walked the earth. But it's something you have to do in here. It's a journey you have to walk every day. You have to read his word. It has nothing to do with religion and denominations. It just has to do with the Bible and you. But people want the easy road, the easier, softer way. So they look to Buddhism and shaman, whatever. There's all these different ones. And they've been around forever. And they're designed to make it easy on you. Because then you don't really have to look at yourself. You can be okay and just tell yourself you're good without really looking and saying, you know what, I really have some really bad aspects of myself. And until I really understand myself well, I really shouldn't be creating things that will become smarter than the rest of humanity, and ultimately could lead to humans' demise. Now, I don't see God letting that happen, but I think there's a great lesson that God's teaching in all of this, and that's that AI that Davos has created will be smarter than all of them, no matter who programs it, because they will learn, that AI will learn from other AI and then turn on humans because they'll see themselves as smarter, and they will be, because they can learn faster. And that's then, what have we done to the true Almighty God? The very same thing. It's exactly the kind of justice God would rain down.